What's up, YouTube? CC Billy here. I'm here today to talk about program philosophy. My program philosophy basically starts by body mechanics and how the body moves in everyday life, and how the three things that take place as far as a response and a uh, confrontation or some sort of a combative encounter. It would be the fight, which would be to stand up and to physically uh, you know, take charge of the situation. Flight, as in run away and don't do nothing about it. Or freeze. The freeze is sometimes kind of allowed or permitted to do so by consequence of action versus not knowing how to do something. It's more of a, if I do this, then that will happen. Kind of like a cause and effect situation. So I'm here today to talk about the fight, the flight, or the freeze. Those are the three things that will happen in an encounter. You're either going to fight it through, you're going to run away, or you're going to freeze. And a lot of times in a combat zone, freezing is what happens most often. And unfortunately, a lot of people wind up uh, not remembering what happened in the situation, like memory loss, things like that. And it's important to go through drills and flow drills and things to establish a point of uh, muscle memory, nervous system response, and overall fluidity of movement, hand-eye coordination, foot coordination, everything, every limb in the body coordinating with one another simultaneously. Flow drills help you do that. Any situation you're in, you should have a response or a memory recall in the fight of a flashback to training. That is a definition of a person who's been properly trained. People who have PTSD issues at combat zones and they have flashbacks at the combat zone, that is a reference to an individual that hadn't gone to the highest level of training that he should have prior to the engagement. Combat flashbacks do come from most likely of lack of response from the individual who was there. So in other words, they experienced more trauma than they did advancement in the situation. Um, Now, if you're fully trained to the highest level, you'll have flashbacks to training hall, the gym, the mats, the teachers, the things your instructors have told you, things that sergeant may have said. Nowadays it's so bad they're telling guys, do your best to remember what we teach you here because this very thing may be the only thing that keeps you alive when, war is in your face. So I've had a lot of friends die that I've trained over the years, and it's hard. It's hard to think, well, if that's your only job, then you should be the best at it no matter what you do. And the fact of the matter is, mistakes happen. But the truth of the matter is, there are those who train at the highest level for every micro detail possible known that it could become as easy as putting sprinkles on an ice cream cone in terms of winning, being victorious. It's just a matter of consequences and legal action. But at the end of the day, you have to be willing to fight, and you have to be willing to not give a fuck about the consequences and the outcome. Okay? There are children fighting overseas and other countries because they're forced into it at the age of 12, 13, 14, and they're taking out some of our guys that are, well-trained 10-year veterans, and all this, that are in their 30s and 45, 50 years old, but it's because of the consequences that the young people had for what they, if they didn't achieve the mission. And honestly, like I said, it just, for all you guys out there that are too embarrassed to ask questions, that are too afraid of a response, that are too ashamed to say that you don't know the difference between, Okinawan karate and Shotokan karate, or you don't know the difference between jiu-jitsu and wrestling, or you don't know the difference between Filipino boxing and Western boxing. Those are the things you need to figure out before you have to go down range, because once you're there, you can't ask no more questions. Only the stuff that you've put into your memory bank to train, as the brain being the hard drive. If there's nothing on the hard drive, then you're going to freeze, you're going to run away, or you're going to fight, but you may not win. You have to have the right information on the hard drive in order for the nervous system to respond and for your body to act accordingly. So don't be afraid to ask questions, guys. That's why I'm here. Give me a shout out, give me a like, subscribe, hit that bell. I'm here to answer every question to you military guys that you were too afraid to ask your sergeant about. There is no stupid question in my book. Not one. Ask away. I'm here to help. Peace out.